All right, it's 6 o'clock. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And everyone remember to turn your microphones on, turn your cell phones off, and we'll have roll call.
Mayor Schomburger.
Here.
Councilor Anderson.
Here.
Bain.
Here.
Baker.
Here.
Becker.
Here.
Dykes.
Here.
And Quinlan.
Here.
Everyone has a copy of the minutes of the regular meeting of March 28th. Are there any corrections? Hearing none, they stand approved as submitted. Visitors and delegations. We have a presentation by Sarah. So, Paula Bragg comes in. Is the microphone on? Yeah.
Corey's
Make sure
gonna
that's-
help you. Thanks.
Thank you for having me tonight. I first of all want to thank you for sponsoring the police department, and maybe some of you as well are planning to come for our 10th anniversary for Sarah. Some of you may know what Sarah is and some may not. So I just wanted to kind of give you a brief overview of what Sarah is and go from there, I guess. So Sarah is a sexual assault program for adult victims as well as children. So in 2011, we became an accredited agency with the National Children's Alliance to provide services for children. Now we have 2 nurses, forensic nurses at our office. We have 3 therapists right now, 2 victim advocates who are specialized in sex assault, providing services for families, and we have 2 forensic interviewers. So everyone at my office is specially trained to talk with children and to work with children. So about every year we see about 135 kids. That sort of sounds like a lot, and then in perspective of really what the epidemic is out there with children who are victims of sex assault, it's really, we're only scratching the surface of this crime. But we work very closely with the police department. We probably saw 15 to 20 cases from Brush last year. So that's why I asked you for a donation. I had a visit with Andrea, and she mentioned that possibly you might be interested in helping us out. We do go from different cities and counties in our communities and ask for donations. The $1,000 I came up with is because we have a fundraiser every year, and the sponsorships are $1,000 for, you can sponsor a team. Actually, for $1,000 you could have 2 teams from Brush. You could choose who you would like to have, or sometimes we find teenage kids who don't have the opportunity to get to do fun things, and we fill teams that way too. So that's just the way that we try to make a little bit of money every year. We make about $15,000 every year. And I've been told that in our community that's pretty good to make that kind of money for a fundraiser. We have a lot of really great sponsors in our cities, and I've just never really thought to come to Brush to request assistance. I just kind of try to figure it all out on my own. We are mostly grant funded, so I have a lot of federal and state grants. Because I am an accredited agency with NCA, which is the National Children's Alliance, I can also apply for funding from them. So we are funded a little bit from them as well, but mostly from federal and state grants. So I don't know if you have any questions for me. That's a really quick rundown. For
I
sure.
would like to say something that my family has recently come in need of the Sarah House, and I can't tell you how important services that you provide and stuff like that. So I've never known anything about it just until recently, but I think you're an excellent organization. I really thank you for what you do under what is normally very difficult circumstances. So thank you.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I think we're very lucky to have the building that we are in at 418 Ensign, and it just offers a really nice place with a lot of confidentiality and peacefulness, and it's in situations that are very difficult for families. So I really feel honored to be able to do the work.
Paula and I go way back. I've known Paula for many years. Maybe you'd like to tell the rest of the council
Okay, I worked at the district attorney's office for almost 20 years as the director of victim services. So I came into that position when victim advocacy was brand new. So within the first 5 years of that type of project even being in place in the state. So I was able to help with helping to write the standards for the state for victim compensation, for bail, and for victim rights. So I was really on the ground level of all that work. So when I left the DA's office, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew from experience the types of victims who weren't receiving services. And for sure they were adult, at that time, adult victims of sex assault was what I thought I could handle. When I was approached to do child sex assaults, I honestly told them no twice. I just didn't think I could do it. Then, you know, when you're not sleeping every night and all you can do is think about what someone's been telling you need to do, you finally realize that it isn't an option. I'm supposed to do this job. So I had the skills to write the grants. I had, I suppose, the knowledge of how to come by a place and how to get the funding for that place. So I brought expertise, I guess, in how to really get something off the ground. I was very lucky that way. I also ran into a lot of great people who believed in what we were doing and knew that it was important. I think of all the cases in the DA's office at that time, those cases with kids were never prosecuted, very seldom. And if we ever did get a case, we weren't going to get a plea of guilty, and we maybe would win, but I really don't remember winning very many times. When you bring a child in against an adult, it just doesn't happen that way. So they're very, very difficult cases. And so to learn how to talk to a child so that they can tell their story, to have the nurses who know how to take the pictures and document and be so specific about what they're seeing, and having the place and having law enforcement believe in what we were doing and helping us and guiding us. We work very closely with your police department. We work together on a multidisciplinary team. We meet every month. And that isn't popular all over the state. It's very hard to bring agencies together and be so different and come together and work as a team. We're looked at as leaders in the state in the way that we work together, and I feel so privileged to get to work with the men and women that we work with, and I can't say that enough. So thank you.
Thank you. And we're definitely interested in contributing and doing things. We'll determine that later. We'll get with Joanne, we'll figure out budgets and things, but we will get back with you.
Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to number 5, management, second and final reading of ordinance 845-16. Need a motion to adopt the ordinance on second reading and published by title only.
I'll make a motion that we do the second final reading of ordinance 845-16, repealing provisions in Article 4 of Chapter 10, Brush Municipal Code, related to public indecency and indecent exposure.
Is there a second?
Second.
Bo, are you gonna talk any more about that?
Not unless there are questions. We're
Okay.
simply repealing those ordinances because we have no way to manage a conviction in the municipal court.
Any further discussion? And roll call vote.
Mayor Schomburger?
Yes.
Counselor Anderson?
Yes.
Bain?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Becker?
Yes.
Dykes?
Yes.
And Quinlan.
Yes.
Finance.
Okay, I make a motion, we approve disbursements and payroll from March 28th through April 11th of 2016 totaling $504,216.18.
Motion and second, discussion. Roll call vote.
Counselor Anderson?
Yes.
Bain?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Becker?
Yes.
Dykes?
Yes.
Quinlan?
Yes.
Mayor Schomburger?
Yes. Staff reports. Finance, Joanne.
I just have one item this evening. I just wanted to make council aware that normally you'll get your financial report the first council meeting of the month. And for the month of May, I'm going to be out of town for that first week, so you'll actually get your financial report the second council meeting of the month for May.
Right. Thank you. Moving it down to police, Corey.
Pretty much just one thing. We worked today with several people on the after-action report regarding on the snow event. There was members from council, Morgan County Sheriff's Office, American Red Cross, and the school district that were present. Kind of the purpose of this is we may not see another snow event like that in any of our careers, but it's not just for snow events. What we learn off of these incidents is how to better use our resources and to make sure we have those resources, whether it's a snow event, flooding situation, or any type of natural disaster. And this will be an ongoing process for a while. I'll start putting together, after this, I'll start putting together an improvement report where we'll start to implement some of these ideas, get some things in place. American Red Cross will be making some adjustments to better serve this area in these types of incidents. So just kind of an ongoing process, always improving on the improvements. And that's all I have.
Thank you. It was a very good meeting, too. Thank you for running that. Parks and Recreation, Lance.
Just a couple things. Since last time I was here, might have been last year. but we had our St. Patrick's Day race. It was very successful. We had over 250 people participate, and we had a number of local businesses that also donated to the event. So I don't know how we've done it, but somehow we've always hit pretty good weather on that race, and it's always been a big event. And all the proceeds this year will go to the golf course along with the Comom event that we don't do. And we still haven't got all the financing done on that yet, but it ended up being a pretty good fundraiser for us. Speaking of the golf course, the sprinkler system is working really well right now, so they found the final leak, it seems like. And sprinklers are up and running, and things are going well. We have had some of the new equipment that we had got donated from the Job and Human Foundation and Pettis Foundation. It arrived last week, and the rest of it will arrive tomorrow. So we're pretty excited about that. And last week I did hire a golf manager, Sean Stutzman. He's going to be a seasonal employee throughout the summer, and he actually will. He started kind of last week, but tomorrow will be his first official day, and so very excited about that. He's got a lot of knowledge running tournaments and also overseeing pro shops and just the golf business in general. So it'll be really good to have him out there. So everything else seems to be running pretty well. Summer baseball's right around the corner. Luckily, I see that we're moving all that dirt to those ball fields across the street that will eventually be ball fields, because this year we have more kids than we've ever had sign up for baseball. We have well over 200 kids playing, and we have 2 fields, and that doesn't even include our women's softball, our girls fast pitch, and all the other visiting teams that come down and play us. So it's if you see people practicing out in the parking lot and everything else, it's because there's no field space right now. So it's summer's right around the corner. We're pretty excited. So
Yep. Thank you. And you do awesome with all of the Parks and Rec. So
well,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah, that's great. Moving down to City Clerk, Andrea.
We have your announcements in your calendar, and then Don Merrimie gave me, on April 25th and 27th from 2 a.m. until 6 a.m., they will be flushing the fire hydrants. So you may see some red colored water, and he recommends just running it until it's clear again, and washing clothes prior to 9 a.m. is discouraged. So just for everyone's info.
All right. And lastly, Community Development / City Administrator position here for Karen.
And actually this evening, I guess there's 2 items. The first is Arbor Day is this Friday, the 15th at 12:30 over at Sunset Park. So we're looking forward to celebrating spring and planting trees with the 3rd graders from Beaver Valley. And I'd love to have all the city council, or as many of you as can, come join us, because it's always a lovely time. And then the second item, Lance touched on in a little bit indirect manner, which is the dirt that's showing up down there on South Clayton, and the fields that someday we hope to be ball fields. That's actually the start of the downtown project, the latest phase in improving the stormwater downtown, that they have started digging that pond over on the east side of town. So that's where all that soil is coming from. So making good progress and looking forward to seeing that project further evolve.
Thank you. Council, any reports? Anything? The only comment I have is from that meeting today. That was a very good meeting. Thanks on that. And one thing that we got out of there was that, because people wanted to volunteer, we may have other people come, and the Red Cross would like to have people be a Red Cross volunteer, go through a little bit of training before you just show up, because they said if you have untrained volunteers there, it can be just as much hassle as anybody else being there. You'd compound things, so being organized, I guess, is the big factor in that. So.
Week before last, I did attend the hospital's invitation to meet the new physicians. For absolutely beautiful and high IQ, intelligent women. One is an orthopedic surgeon. Family, I think we have a general surgeon. I can't remember what the specialties of the other two were, but suffice it to say, highly competent. And I'd like to welcome the new professionals to Brush, and I hope they stay.
Anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned. We'll start work session in just a minute.